What's up YouTube, Roadrunner95 here, bringing you a deck profile. This time it's for one of my decks. One of my favorites, if not my favorite deck, and that is Six Sams. I use it a lot. I use it more than any other deck I have. So I just wanted to show you guys my version of how I run it, which is similar to how most people run it, but it does have a couple variants, so I figured I'd show you guys. I run 3 copies of Legendary Six Samurai Kizan. Just an easy way to get out monsters. It can be special summon if you control a Six Samurai monster. If you have double, normal, special, bam, Exe summon. Synchro if you have a tuner out, anything. It's just a great card to have. Definitely needs to be at 3, cannot be at anything lower than 3. I've never seen anyone run it at anything lower than 3. So yeah, great card. Next, I run 2 copies of Elder of the Six Samurai. Just another way to get out monsters. I used to run it at 3, but I noticed that 3 could sometimes clog up the deck, and could be a dead draw. I like the speed of this deck, so running it at 3, it's just too situational. If you don't control a monster and your opponent does, which I know happens sometimes, but for this deck it doesn't really happen that often, and if it does, getting out a 400 attack point monster with 0 defense doesn't really do that much. So I noticed 2 runs well. It runs well enough to where I can get stuff off, but it doesn't clog up the deck and slow it down, because I do, again, like that speed. 2 Legendary Six Samurai Kagekis. I also had this at 3, but I bumped it down to 2 just because I noticed that at 3 it could be a dead draw because it is at risk of being Veilored, Breakthrough Skill, Fiendish Chain, and you don't get off that special summon. So you just have this dead monster on the field, and it can be a dead draw. At 2, you can get off the combos, but you don't have to worry about it slowing down and clogging up your deck as much. And like I said, I really like the speed of this deck. I run 3 copies of Kagemusha. Have to run 3, can't run anything less than 3. You Asceticism. You do a lot of synchro summoning in this deck. You have to run 3. You Asceticism with Elder, get out Xian, get out Beast, get out any level 5. You have Kizan on the field, you summon Kagemusha, or you Kagemusha special summon Kizan, you synchro into Barkion or any level 6. It's just a great card, and if you have another face-up Six Samurai monster on the field and it gets targeted by a spell, trap, or effect card, you can switch the target to Kagemusha, which just really helps save your monsters, which is what I focus on in this deck, is just saving my stronger monsters. I run one copy of Shin's Squire. I never used to run that card. I used to think it was worthless. And then I noticed that sometimes I'd have like Zanji or Kizan out on the field, and I'd have Dojo out too, and I'd have 1 counter on it, and I was like, wow, I really wish I had Squire. I could get first turn Xian. It just helps with getting out first turn Xian, which everyone wants. So it just helps build this consistency and speed of the deck. I run 1 copy of Zanji. I'm considering bumping it up to 2, but I do notice that when I have 2, it just kind of slows down the deck a little, because I don't really do anything else with him except for Asceticism with Kizan. Either you have Zanji out and you Asceticism into Kizan, or you Kizan into Zanji. And I don't really just, normal summon Zanji and just let him sit there. It's always with an Asceticism. So I noticed that 2 just kind of slows it down, because I only run 2 Asceticisms right now. So one Zanji's good enough right now. I run 1 Grandmaster. I don't recommend running it at 2 at all. I have seen a couple people, 2 or 3, run it at 2, and it's pointless. You can only have 1 out on the field at a time, and it just slows your deck so much, because if you draw that second Grandmaster while you have 1 on the field, it's a dead draw. It slows down the deck, clogs stuff up, can't do anything with it, because you can only control 1 at a time. Only run 1. I do have a great Shogun Xian, great card. Your opponent can only activate 1 spell or trap card per turn. You only have to have 2 Six Samurai monsters on the field, and let's be honest, you get out monsters very quickly. But again, I only recommend running 1, because it can be a dead draw. It slows down the deck. Much rather have, if you had to put another card in, much rather run a 3rd Elder, or a 3rd Kageki, or a 2nd Zanji, or something. Alright, moving on to spells. I run 2 copies of Xian's Smoke Signal. Just helps you get monsters in your hand, helps you get out Xian, helps speed up the deck. 2 copies of MST. In all my decks, I either run 2 copies of MST and 1 Heavy Storm, or 3 MSTs and no Heavy Storm. Just depends on how my back row goes. With this deck, the only really important cards you have in your back row, or that I have in my back row, are Gateway and Dojo. And they can be popped by other cards, and you only have 1 copy of it. So, I don't really care that much about my back row. So, I don't mind running a copy of Heavy Storm and potentially blowing up my back row. But in my Hazy Flame deck, where you have Hazy Pillar, you really want to protect that back row. So, I don't run Heavy Storm. I run 1 copy of Dojo. I'm possibly considering bumping it to 2, but I'm happy with it at 1 because 2, I think it slows down the deck. Other people think otherwise, but I think it slows down the deck, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep it at 1. And of course, 1 Dark Hole, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Reinforcement in the Army just helps you get cards in your hand. Gateway, one of the engines of this deck. Helps you get cards in your hand, helps you get over stuff. If you have Xian out and they have a 2800 or 2600 attack point monster and you're like, oh man, they're going to get over my Xian, you remove 2 counters, which is just basically 1 summon of a 6 samurai monster, you have 3000. It just helps you get over stuff, helps you get stuff out. 1 copy of Heavy Storm, 2 copies of 6 Sam United. I am proxying 1, but when I go into tournaments, I just borrow 1 from my friend because he doesn't run 6 Sams anymore, he just runs Evil Swarms. Great card, helps speed up the deck. Every time you normal special summon a 6 samurai monster, you place a counter on there of a maximum of 2, and then you can send to the graveyard and draw that many number of cards. Just a great card, helps speed up the deck, helps you get monsters in your hand, spells in your hand, traps in your hand, anything. Just helps with consistency and speed. 2 copies of Asceticism. I'm seriously considering bumping this up to 3 because I do use it so much, either comboing with Elder and Kagamusha or comboing with Zanji and Kizan. It's just a great card. Works really well in this build. Seriously considering bumping it to 3, but I need to get my hands on that 3rd one. 2 Forbidden Dress. This is kind of what puts my deck apart from other decks. I haven't seen anyone run Forbidden Dress in 6 Sam, but it just helps you get past stuff like Dark Hole, Torrential, anything that destroys. It doesn't help with Compulse or anything, but say they double Torrential and you have just Xian out on the field. They double Torrential, you negate it once, the second Torrential you're done unless you have Forbidden Dress. Then it stops it because it destroys, even if it targeted, which it doesn't, but it destroys. So it protects your Xian, which I'm looking at it as Xian is the key to this deck, so I need to protect him. So Forbidden Dress just helps me protect him. Moving on to trap cards, I run 1 Double-Edged Sword Technique. It just helps me get stuff from my graveyard. If I first turn Xian, my second turn I can second turn Beast, Catastor when I get a second copy. It just helps, or I can Xyz summon if I have 2 level 4s. It just helps me speed up the deck, helps me get out monsters, helps me get out stronger monsters. It's just a great card. I run 2 Bottomless Trap Holes, 2 Musakani Magatamas. I was considering running 3, but I just have so many defensive cards in this deck, I just thought it slowed it down, especially because sometimes it can clog up your field. I've had it some games where I put it down first turn and I didn't use it till the very end of the deck, if I used it at all. Because, when you're in the middle of a duel, if they activate a Torrential, you don't go, ooh, Magatama, you Xian it. You negate it. And then, if they don't do that, or, if they double Torrential and you have a Barkion, then you negate it with Barkion. So, it's just kind of like the back of your mind type thing. So I've just noticed that it can clog up the field, so I'm happy with it at 2. I run 1 Dimensional Prison, 2 Fiendish Chains, 1 Mirror Force, 1 Warning, and 1 Judgment. And that does it for the main deck. Moving on to the side deck. I run 1 Prohibition. I would never main deck this card, but it's a great side deck. I cannot express how great of a side deck card this is. It is perfect. Shuts down so many decks. Even if you're not trying to shut down a deck, even if you're just trying to protect yourself, it stops MST, it stops Bottomless, it stops Mirror Force. If they don't have it out on the field, they cannot use it. If it's not already out on the field, it's done. Unless they MST or Heavy Storm this, it's done. I'm trying to run 3 copies, I need 2 more. I'm trying to run 3 really in every deck, because it just stops so much. You activate it, call it MST, they can't activate MST anymore. It protects this, they can't MST it, and they can't MST anything else you have. If you notice that they're running a lot of 1 card, done. It's just a great card to have. 2 Book of Moons. I really just threw a second one in there just because I had room. It's a great card. It's helped me a lot. I highly recommend using it. You know, everyone needs a Book of Moon. I run 1. I'd like to run another one, at least maybe 3 of Overworked. It's a great card against Constellars, Fire Fist, stuff that runs Lad. You know, a lot of stuff, because you destroy all monsters whose attack is different than the original attack. So all the stuff that runs Tenki, Tensu, anything that bumps or lowers attack, you know, it's done. It stops. You know, it helps you clear the field. Like if they have a bear out and they have a Tenki, you destroy bear before they can pop something. You know, it's a great card. It's really underrated. You know, I had never even heard of it until I pulled it in Battle Pack. But it's really a great card. Like I can definitely see use for it. Not a lot of people use it, but I can definitely see use for it. And I run 3 copies of Mind Drain. I run 3 copies of Mind Drain in every deck because it shuts stuff down. Shuts down E-Dragons, stops Veilers, stops Battle Fader, Trag, Gores, everything. Because it stops monster effects from the hand from being activated for 1,000 life points. You know, if you have to go through all 3, that's 3,000 life points to shut down a deck. That, coupled with Prohibition, shuts down E-Dragons. You know, you Prohibition MST, you Prohibition Heavy Storm, they can't destroy it. You bam Mind Drain, they can't activate Veilers, they can't activate any of their E-Dragons effect, nothing. It's done. Okay, it's just a great card to shut down stuff. And then I have my second Zanji. You know, not really a side deck card, but just in case I felt like putting the second one in there. I could at a tournament or something. Moving on to the extra deck. I run 1 Zenmane. It's just a great card. Run it in every deck. It's a great card to have. You place it in defense mode for 2 attacks. You can pop stuff and it can't be destroyed. Leviathan Dragon, great card. Gaga Cowboy. Abyss Dweller. I'm seriously considering taking this out just because most of the effect is pointless, except for the part that, you know, graveyard effect cannot be activated. But besides that, I'm considering taking it out and putting it in my trade binder. 1 Excalibur, 1 Blade Armor Ninja, 1 Shadow of the Six Samurai Shien, 1 Utopia, and 1 Gem Knight Pearl. And then for synchros, I have an X-Saber Wayne. Seriously considering taking that out. I barely, if ever, use him. I'm really considering taking him out for a Catastor, because Catastor is a great card. You know, it shuts down most of the meta these days, except for Evil Swarms. You know, Constellar's done, Fire Fist done, E-Dragon's done because they don't have any dark monsters. Or if they do, it's like the, you know, one few random one that you can just get over with something else. You know, because it can't be destroyed by a dark monster, or by anything except for a dark monster. So it just shuts down a lot of decks, and it's just a 2200 wall. Naturia Beast stops spell cards by milling the top 2 cards of your deck. Great card. I don't really mind milling cards from this deck. I don't like it, but it helps protect Shien and stuff. 1 Shien, 1 Barkion, helps with traps, 1 Landois, and 1 Black Rose just to get over everything. Black Rose gets over everything. And that's it. That's it for my 6 Sam deck. Like I said, I really enjoy this deck. I really enjoy the speed. I enjoy how everything runs. I like the monsters. I just really like this deck. So comment down below. Tell me how you thought of the tell me what you thought of the video. Please like and subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh videos, and check out my channel. Thanks for watching.